I'm a needed. Hello, everybody. Good day. Good Wednesday. Wealth Wednesday. Coach Hadassah here, metaphysician, personal development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and proud founding member of Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide. And today is Wednesday. What are we talking about? Wealth. What else? It's Wednesday, right? We have this theme. Like I've been making these things up, not the things, but the themes up this week, and we're just gonna roll with them. So I'm like, what's today's theme for Wednesday? Wednesday. And I say a specific prayer for specific days. And Wednesday is the day of the sun. A lot of people think it's Sunday, but it's actually not. But that's a whole nother thing that we have to talk about another day. But it's actually the day of the sun, and the day of the sun is all about prosperity and authority and well-being and wellness. And I said, that's wealth. So hey, we'll go with Wealthy Wednesday. So let me go ahead and put my little earpiece in so that'll help out with any background noise, because sister's over here jamming on her iPad, and then Hubs, of course, is in the living room watching sports in between class. So hold on a sec. There we go. Can everybody hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I think so. I don't know, the little mic thing, it goes up and down like that. All right. So for this Wealthy Wednesday, we're talking about wealth. And I mean, of course, when we hear the word wealth, we automatically think of money. We think of money. We think of abundance. We think, prosperity. We think about, then there's some people that may even pop up in our psyche, like Warren Buffett and the Royals, right? They've been in the spotlight for a nice little minute. I haven't watched what you got, the interview with Prince Harry and Duchess Megan. I haven't watched it. I've been productive building my own wealth, so I haven't had time to see it, and I don't think I'm gonna look for it either. Not that it's not as important, but I'm like, shoot, I'm trying to get my family there. So I don't have time to be doing all that. So but those are things that we'll think about. Some people, so you can like drop that in the chat. Like when you think about wealthy and then wealthy people, drop some names in the comment section below of wealthy people that you could think of. Oprah, of course, Oprah comes to mind. Um, and some other folks. So go ahead and drop them, and then we'll see if that's like the people actually aligns with or is consistent with what wealth is, because that's something that we talked about the other day. Even consistency, when we looked up that word, the definition and its etymology and all of that, and what we found was that to be consistent, or that consistency, it has to do with harmony, right? Harmony, joining together, an agreement, right? So that puts a whole nother perspective on on things. So I want to say hello to Coach Cotton, right? We got Coach Cotton in the building. Yes, definitely. Megan Lynch, Adrian Sloan, wealthy people. Look, me, Michelle, wealthy people. Well, you would think like wealthy people, and especially if you mentioned me, you mentioned Michelle, like, hey, I haven't heard of you all. Here's the thing about it. A lot more people are quiet the quiet wealth, right? Then the rah rah in your face, I'm well known wealthy. A lot of people are just like behind the scenes. And then we have to even know what that means. So when I went to I like to I'm that word chaser. I want to know the meaning of it. Um why I'm so big on meaning is this. There is, what is the name of the book? I think it might be one of the lost books, like the lost, testaments, the lost books of the testaments. And it's kind of some, I don't want to say discrepancy, but a lot of people were just kind of like, well, we don't know if it's authentic because blah blah blah, so forth and so on. But you'll know if it's authentic or not if you've read the scriptures and you understand how things are overturned and overturned, and a pattern, that consistency of a pattern. So then when you do read other uh, books that weren't made part of the canonized Bible, that was canonized by, of course, the Roman Catholic Church, um, you'll know if it's consistent with the story or the history or not. So I read this particular lost book, and it went on to it's called The Infancy of the Messiah or Christ, right? And um it was one of the things where he went when he went to school, when he was school age, and it was time for him to be taught. And it wasn't like how we have these big schools, and then we send our children to the schools, and it's like 12 to 25 or 30 children in a classroom. It was nothing like that. They were actually teaching maybe like one-on-one, and possibly no more than 12. So when you think about, like, how when Joshua, of course, the world calls him Jesus Christ. So just know that I'm speaking about the same person, right? Um, when he went out and he chose out his disciples. Disciples are students. How many were there? There were 12. There were 12. And he, being the master teacher, that was the 13, right? So so he chose out those 12. So you had a group of 12 and you can be pretty hands-on with 12 people, right? So that's how, of course, the education or, teaching and things like that was set up in that day. So anyway, you had Joseph and Mary. They took him to be, and it said in the book, to learn his letters, right? Because they were a Hebrew nation, Hebrew people. And so, of course, he's learning his culture, his language, all of that. And so it said he went to learn his letters. Well, the Hebrew alphabet has meaning. It's not just a letter and you move on. So this is what was happening. It said, okay, he took him took him there, and he was learning his letters. And so the teacher is saying, okay, Aleph. Then he's like, okay, Aleph. And then he goes, Beth. And Joshua was like, no, teach me the meaning of Aleph. And teacher kind of looking at him like, like, hey, I'm the teacher here. And so he's trying to move on, and Joshua would not move on. He said, no, teach me the meaning. And so when he went to, like, reprimand him, look, you have to read the story for yourself of what happened. I was just like, whoa, it was deep. And so they had to take him to another instructor. So he had another teacher, and it was the same thing, like, okay, Aleph. And he's like, Aleph. And it's like, okay, Beth. He said, no, teach me the meaning of this letter. Okay. And he was at, teach me the meaning. So everything has a meaning, and so that's why I'm saying all this. Everything has a meaning. You have to know what that meaning is. So it's not just, okay, this word. What's the meaning? Our names, it has meaning. It has a purpose. So what is the meaning of wealth? Well, Wealth, it actually has a root word. And the root word of wealth is will. Will. WEAL. And it is well-being. Welfare, right? Not welfare like, you know, you go to the public aid office or something like that and they're gonna give you a couple of dollars and it like, no, that's not welfare. That is not welfare at all. Right? Because welfare means well-being. So of course, when you think about, welfare in that sense where people are getting public assistance, is it really helping them? Right? Is it really for their well-being? I mean, it might be it can help, but when you're not teaching or um it's okay to get some assistance for a short period of time because you're down and out, who knows what may happen or whatever, and you need it for that moment. But to be on it like perpetually, that's not true welfare, because it's not well-being, right? And this is what that word will, from the word wealth. Hold on a sec. Let me do something here. Okay, I have to take my earphones out and plug my charger in, because we don't need this to stop. We don't need this to cut off in the middle of things, right? So and here's the thing about it: when you go into words, it'll lead you, right? It'll lead you to some other words too that's related, that has a lot to do with it, so that you can get the full meaning and then know how to operate, how to go, how to proceed, or whatever with this word. So that word will, WEAL, meaning well-being, welfare, it actually leads you to will, WILL. Okay, WILL. And actually in the scriptures, when Moses had his encounter with the creator, with Yahweh, when he gave him his name, because before they knew his name, they knew him by his titles. And his title was, El Shaddai, Elohim, Eloah, all of those things. El Shaddai was almighty provider, right? So so because they were in that nation, they were in a place in Egypt where there was they was worshiping a whole lot of stuff, and it was a whole lot of different gods. And so when Yahweh introduced himself by name, the reason why was because Moses asked him. He was like, okay, when I come to the children of Israel and tell them that, the God, or the Elohim, or the Eloah of of them said, let my people go, we're about to come up out of here, what should I tell them your name is? Well, here's the thing: if they were calling him Eloah or El Shaddai or Elohim the whole time, why would he need to ask him what his name was if Eloah or Elohim or El Shaddai was his name? Right? That's like saying, Hadassah, when I go to, what should I tell him your name is? Hadassah. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So that was a title. That was a title. And so he's like, I got to have a name, because which one? Which God are you? Right? And so that's when he gave him his name. He said, now your forefathers didn't know me by my name, but this is my name. And in the scriptures, when he said, I am that I am, really in the Hebrew text, it said Ai Asher Ai. And Ai Asher Ai means I will be what I will to be. Right? So here we are with that word will. Okay? And what is will? Will, it is not only a noun, but it's a verb. You can use it two ways, because as a noun, will, now remember, we went from wealth to will, W-E-A-L. It led us to will, W-I-L-L. Now we're going somewhere with this, okay? We still on the same train of thought, because I want you to understand what wealth is and that it's already in you, okay? It's in each and every one of us. But we have to, like Coach Cotton, she spoke on her live today talking about reset, right? Here it's springtime, or it's coming up on springtime. Like it'll be officially, right? It'll be officially springtime about what is that, March 21st, as far as like calendar date. As far as calendar date with the spring equinox, March 21st, springtime, right? And then the new year actually begins at the first new moon of the year, which is in April. The end of the year will be at the last full moon in March, which is coming up, which is coming up. So will, W-I-L-L. Now remember, Yahweh said, I will be what I will to be. He didn't say I am that I am. I know that that's in the King James Testament, but we have to remember that he was speaking to Moses or Moshiach, who was a Hebrew, right? And he was speaking to him in his language, the Hebrew tongue. And so speaking to him in his language, he said, Ea Asher Ea, I will be what I will to be. So as a noun, will, W-I-L-L, which we got to that word from will, W-E-A-L, is purpose, mind, determination, joy, delight. What else? Yeah, that's it. So again, as a noun, we know a noun, person, place, or thing. So I will be what I will to be. And purpose. What's your purpose? Right? We all have a purpose. Look, mind. Isn't this where it starts? It starts here in the mind, right? A determination. Look, joy. Listen, have you ever been depressed? I know I have. I suffered from it for quite some time. That's not being in good health. Because look, health is connected to wealth as well. But we're going to get into that a little bit, further along. And so, if you're not in the depression, it's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. Now, when you think illness, right? Yeah, illness, ill, wellness, well, right? The difference between illness and wellness is we, right? Illness is I. And many people who have suffered from or felt depression felt alone and by themselves. Like I, right? Felt alone and by themselves. Okay. And then a lot of times it kind of, I don't say it kind of takes, but many people who have suffered from depression, does feel isolated, alone, unsupported, things of that nature. And, some other stuff that goes along with it too. The vitamin D levels are low because we have vitamin D. It's in our bodies, but it's activated by the sun. So this is the reason why, we need to get out in the sun to activate the vitamin D that's already in our bodies. And then also, especially when you live in the Midwest, and then us melanated living here, in the northern hemisphere, if we don't get that sun, we need to take vitamin D supplements. It helps a lot. Like I haven't suffered depression as bad as I did before, like at all. Why? Because I'm like, I don't never want to experience that again. And I'm just about drinking vitamin D. You know, like this, like vitamin D in a cup. And I'm like, right? Somewhere you do not want to be. Because again, it's the mind, right? So if you're experiencing depression, you're definitely not experiencing joy, right? So if you're not experiencing joy, which is, look, joy is a fruit of the spirit. Okay? Galatians chapter 5, what's that? 5:22. What's the fruit of the spirit? Love, peace, joy. That's the fruit of the spirit. Being one or bonded with the spirit. So you know, you have to feel that. Look, delight, wealth, well, it begins within, right? So then will as a verb. Okay, now person, place, or thing. Now as a verb, that's action. So now we think about like, say, you know, a written will. Okay, you know, I'm willing something to someone or my family or whatever after death or something like that. So, you know, that written will, that verb, something that's carried out, or an action, is a written document expressing a person's wishes about property after death. You still with me, right? Okay, but verb, will, to determine by act of choice. To determine by act of choice, right? Yahweh, the creator, said, I will be what I will to be, right? And meaning I determine by act of choice, right? So what is it that we're doing? What is it that we are doing, right? What is our purpose? What is our determination? Where is our mind? Where's the wealthy mindset? How has the mind been set? How is the mind set? Through education. How have we been educated? What have we been educated on? Okay. I looked up some different, you know, I love that Bible Gateway app because, I mean, you know, look, I'm a book person. I have to have the physical book and, you know, pages and stuff like that, because I like to highlight and all of that. But I do have the Bible app, right? And what's good about that is you could put in a certain, you know, a word. And when you put in that word, it'll bring up all the scriptures that where that word is. And so the word wealth, was it wealth or wealthy? I think I put in wealth. The word wealth is in the King James Version 29 times. 29 versus the word poor. And that word poor, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in there like 199 times. That's interesting. Anyway, we're talking about wealth today. So that word is in there 29 times. Okay. And what was interesting about that is Second Chronicles. Hold on, let me see if I can find the Second Chronicles, because King Solomon, of course, came up. And you know, if we all kind of remember the story, Second Chronicles, when he asked, let's see exactly where it is. When wait a minute, was it First Chronicles or Second? Here it is. No, it's Second Chronicles. And so look, outside of the canonized version of the Bible, there's a book of, you might have to have the Apocrypha. I do have the Apocrypha too. And there's a book of wisdom. Okay. I mean, that's exactly what the book is called. It's the book of wisdom. And so it goes on about wisdom and talk about how, wisdom cries in the streets. Wisdom is just all around, right? And we have to desire it. We really have to desire wisdom. And when we don't, no, I'm not gonna say that because I don't I don't want nobody. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but we have to desire wisdom. It's not something that's just gonna jump on us or whatever. We have to really truly want it, right? So what was about to go on? Let's see, where am I going to start? This is Second Chronicles, I think about 9. I'm going to start at 9. Should I? Yeah. No. I'm start at 7. Second Chronicles, first chapter, 7. And that night and I'm reading from the Holy Name Bible. Okay. Holy Name Bible, containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testaments, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts revised by the late A.B. Trainer through the Scripture Research Association and reprinted by Yahshua Promotions. If you like to purchase this Bible, Holy Name Bible, you could get it on Amazon. It's about $40. So again, Second Chronicles, first chapter, 7th verse. And that night did Elohim appear unto Solomon and said unto him, ask what I shall give you. Why was it important for me to say that? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'm gonna keep going. Because just do know that there's wealth principles, and no one has gotten true wealth without adhering to the principles, because the principles is the law. It's the law, period. And to be disobedient to the law is what got them in a situation where they were poor, stricken by poverty, right? Being captured, going into slavery and bondage and everything. And when it got to a point where they would repent, they still had to go through a process of getting out of it. They might have been in bondage for like 50 years or, something like that. And even look, 430 years, 400 years, right? Because they would turn their focus off of the creator of all things, that exist, in order to, we want a king, we want an idol, we want someone that we can see, touch, taste, smell, hear, or whatever physically, to be ruler over us, when they were sovereign. Because what is the creator but sovereign? Can you put him in a bottle? Can you no, it's sovereign, it's freedom, right? Freedom. So when they would be asking for a king, in which, if you know anything about kings, they tax you to death. We talked about taxes yesterday, right? They tax you to death. And then it's like, it's such a burden. Well, what were they burdened by? They were burdened by taxes, because the king be like, let me get that up out you up front. Okay, I know you working and everything, but yeah, work. Yep, I want you to work. I want you to make more money. I want you to ask for raises. Like, yes, I do, because every single time you get a raise, I get a raise. Right? You're asking for your $15 an hour. He wants you to have $15 an hour, because it's gonna be taxed. You get more, the king gets more. Right? So look, Deuteronomy, really quick, about this wealth thing. Deuteronomy chapter, we talked about it in 7, but then also 8. But you shall remember Yahweh thy Elohim, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto your fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if you do at all forget, we talk that mental illness, you forget Yahweh your Elohim and walk after idols. I want kings. I want to worship golden calves. I want to, all that kind of stuff. And then serve them and worship them. I will testify against you this day that you should surely perish. As the nations which Yahweh destroys before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not be obedient unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Where's that voice? Right within you. Right? Okay. Look, I didn't go. Let me go up a little bit more. And 17. And you, I'd have to go all the way up, but basically he was just saying, I led you through the wilderness. I fed you with bread and manna and everything from heaven that you didn't know nothing about. You didn't work for. You didn't do, all of that. And he said, but if you go on and then you say in your heart that my power of my hand has gotten me, this wealth. He said, I'm the one that gave you the wealth. I gave you the power. He didn't say I gave you wealth. He said, I gave you the power to get wealth, or I gave you the ability to get wealth. Now, here's the thing about the ability to get wealth. You have to be in good health. Your mind got to be right. Your spirit got to be right. Your psyche, right? Psyche, mind, soul, that's synonymous, right? So it has to be right. Your emotions have to be right, right? Your social circle got to be healthy. He give you the material, your ability, your physical ability, the physical body, your physiology, it has to be in working order. That's how you have the power to get wealth. Okay. So then when he's telling Solomon and he's telling him, he said, look, ask of me. Right. So where was I at? 7. And that night the Elohim appeared unto Solomon and said unto him, ask what I should give you. Didn't he say, ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be open unto you? What have you asked? But when you are you asking amiss? What does amiss mean? It means wrong. Are you asking wrong? Are you asking out of order? You got to be in order. I have children. Let them ask me for something knowing doggone well they better not. You ain't did nothing you supposed to do, you out here acting a fool. You will get nothing from me. No. Right? I'm not rewarding foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And if that's me, then what more of our Heavenly Father? Look, that know what we thinking before we even think what we thinking. That know what we doing before we even have the thought to do what it is it's like come clean. We are X-ray vision. Nothing is hidden. So he said, ask of me what I should give you. And Solomon said unto Elohim, you have showed great mercy unto my father David, and have made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Yahweh Elohim, let your promise unto David my father be established. For you have made me king over a people like the dust of the earth and the multitude. Basically, you done put me over all these people. Like it's a whole bunch of people. The dust of the multitude, count the dust. You can't, right? So here goes Solomon. He said, give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this, your people, that is so great? He like all these people that's numbered like the sands of the sea, the dust of the earth, the stars in the heaven. Who can judge it? I need give me wisdom and knowledge. Now we're going somewhere, because what? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. We gotta bring all this stuff together. It's not disconnected, it's interconnected. It works together, right? So, look, you could be rich by yourself. Why? Rich don't mean nothing but I got a whole lot of stuff, right? We got spring coming up. A lot of people will be spring cleaning because what? They got a lot of stuff. Do I need this anymore? I need to get rid of this. Can I fit this? I can't fit it. It's out of style. Getting rid of a whole lot of stuff. Look, move. People look, it's stressful moving. Why? Because you see how much stuff you've accumulated. Just in whatever amount of time you've accumulated it. And now that you got to move, now you're trying to get rid of stuff. Right? What's that Erykah Badu song, right? Bag lady. It's some bag men too. It's that pack light. Why? Because when it's time to move, what, you gonna lug all this stuff around? It's too much. You don't want to, no, right? So then it said, and Elohim said unto Solomon, because this was in your heart. It was in his heart to desire wisdom and knowledge. Desire, will, wealth, right? That was one of the meanings, okay? Well-being, welfare, to determine, now, purpose, determination, desire, delight, will, wealth, right? So, and Elohim said unto Solomon, because this was in your heart, and you have not asked riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of your enemies, neither yet have asked long life, but have asked wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may judge my people, over whom I have made you king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted to you, and I will give you riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings that have ever been before thee, neither shall there be any after you, or have the like. Let Yahweh be true and every man a liar. Okay. Now he just told Solomon, it won't be nobody like you in the wealth before or after. And then there's some people out here saying something different, but let Yahweh be true and every man a liar, right? But he said, because you asked me for wisdom and knowledge. Now, why is that? Because wisdom and knowledge, those are just only two attributes or characteristics of Yahweh Elohim. He has 9 divine attributes: wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, love, beauty, justice, foundation, power, and strength. Those are 9 divine attributes of our Creator. And because basically what Solomon just did was ask, I need you to be in me. I need you to activate these characteristics of you in me. What did it say in the beginning? Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Right? Don't we come here looking like our parents? Might be a mixture of both our parents, or we might look more like one parent than the other parent. We might look exactly like one parent and don't look nothing like the other parent. Right?
We might not look like either one of the parents, but then you go back and you like, oh shoot, that would look like the great grandfather. It's tripped out how the genes work, you know. But you look like some father back somewhere in your family. Why? Because our souls should be in the likeness and image of the characteristics and the attributes of the Creator. And what Solomon asked for was just two of those attributes that correlated to the head cavity. It's like wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, beauty, love, justice in the chest cavity, foundation, power, and strength in the abdominal cavity. He was asking to have a sound mind with wisdom and intelligence. He's like, because these your people, I don't want to steer them wrong. I need to know what to do. Wisdom, that's experience. I've been here. I haven't been here that long, but you have. You made all of this, right? So give me your wisdom. And then the knowledge so I can know what to do. We always say knowledge is power, but applied knowledge being, we know that applied knowledge is power. But look, that application of the knowledge is wisdom. And that's wealth. That goes with health, right? So then look, wealthy, happy, prosperous. Let's go to happy, right? I want to be happy, or the pursuit of happiness, right? Like in this country, you talk about the pursuit, the pursuit of happiness. And we think it's an emotion. We think to be happy is an emotion. It's not. Happy actually has a root word in it, which is hap, H-A-P. And hap means chance or fortune. It means opportunity. So the pursuit of happiness, like you're not chasing after an emotion, right? The pursuit of happiness is the pursuit of chance or the pursuit of an opportunity. That's what it is. Speaking of that, I got to read this. I have to read it. And then we'll close out. The Entrepreneur's Creed. I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, the pursuit of happiness, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state to look after me. I want to take calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and succeed. I refuse to barter incentive for a dole. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for benefits, not benefits, but benefits, nor my dignity for a handout. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud, and unafraid, to think and act for myself, to enjoy the benefit of my creations. If we're made in the image and likeness of the Creator, we're the created, and we have the ability to create. Okay? So then when you create, don't you want to benefit from your own creations? The Creator does every day, right? Are we in the image and likeness? Okay. So I want to enjoy the benefit of my creations and to face the world boldly and say, this, with my God's help, okay, I have done. And this is what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? And so this is what this is all about. Okay. We're in some of the greatest time ever. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I know it seems like, especially with this past year of a pandemic and people have lost jobs and all of that kind of stuff, you know, but we have to look at it from a different perspective. Now, here's the thing. I remember before the pandemic, Michelle, look, I'm just letting it come through. I all I knew was that I was gonna talk about wealth because of Wealth Wednesday. I ain't have a prepared speech. The only thing I did write down was these definitions. You know, I just kind of jotted them down a bit, right? And it's just like, hey, spirit, take over. Say what the people need to hear. Right? Didn't he say that? He said that. Look, don't write a script. Don't do none of that. I just want you to be there, go, and in that hour or in that time, your mouth will open and I will speak through you. Cause I don't know if it's me, I don't know what I'm gonna tell you. I might not even be on here to be honest with you, right? So listen, before the pandemic, people was complaining about their jobs. All on social media, especially on Mondays, right? Mondays, Monday, Monday, complaining about Monday on Sunday, right? After a certain time of day on Sunday, they was already let down because they knew the next day they going back to work. Okay, so now, boom, shut down. We didn't know how it was gonna happen. We didn't know, you know. It was just today. A memory came up from last year. My sister, she posted a picture and was like, all these people done bought up all the doggone toilet paper. And it was the empty shelves with the toilet paper gone. You know, the shutdown hadn't been no, the national emergency hadn't been declared yet. Right? It was officially declared on March 13th. And then by the 16th, which was that Monday, everybody was at home. But, you know, some things were already coming out in the news and people just went crazy and went up and bought up all the toilet paper a year ago today. So you had people, you know, still working their jobs, but working from home now, right? And then you had some people that actually just lost their jobs. But before then, they was complaining about the job. I'm being overworked, underpaid, blah, 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 this, is that, and the other. Okay. That was a crying out. What did the children of Israel do? Weren't they crying out because they were heavily burdened with the task of building the pyramids? Everything is a pyramid structure. That's what they was doing. They were burdened, and so they cried out. The people were burdened. This is modern day now. They were crying out. And so what? Boom, shut down. Now you either lost your job or you're at home working on a job. And so now, what did that pose? An opportunity. It posed an opportunity. It posed a chance that, okay, if now you're not under it anymore. Now what? Just like when the children of Israel got up out of there, now they're in the wilderness. Okay, now you're not under Pharaoh anymore. All you have to do is be obedient to me. Follow my lead. When the cloud, right? When I move, you move. When I stay still, you stay still. That's how they had to move about, following the cloud. And when the cloud stayed put, they had to encamp. When the cloud started moving, they had to move. Then they started doing what? Murmuring and complaining. Oh, it was better for us back there in Egypt. You was just hollering and complaining about it. What are you talking about? And they came out with great substance of gold and silver and fine linen. It's like, come on, people, what do you want? Ask of me. That's what happened right here. Yahweh said, ask of me what I will give you. Ask. I asked something just last night. Like, not last night, it was yesterday. I got up and prayed and I asked something. And you better believe it was answered before the night was out. Before the night was out. Sometimes, I mean, not that I forget, but you know, I just got this thing where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, or whatever. And he like, when I found myself where I'm feeling like, okay, now I'm working too doggone hard for something that like this is easy. I'd be like, okay, I know what this is. Let me stop. And I ask. And then next thing you know, it's like, boom. Then I'd be like, you know what? My bad. I'm sorry. I don't even have, I forgot I'm not living that life no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got a fortune cookie the other day and I had to put it, I taped it on my little, you know, I got my little dry erase board that I hang on the little refrigerator over here in my office. This part of my office. I got a bigger one downstairs. But look, you will learn to work smarter, not harder. Sometimes, you know what? This is what I found with our people. And I understand why. It's psychological. We are obsessed with working hard. It is in our DNA because we think that hard work means that you're lazy if you do not work hard. But then wealthy people, since we're talking about wealth, they do not work hard. They work smart. We're talking about the mind. We're talking about finding easy, simple ways to do things. This is the reason why it's so better to have a system, because systems work. Do not reinvent the wheel, right? Systems work. And when you work the system, the work is not as hard. Look, what did Yahshua say? He said, take my yoke upon you. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And I promise you, one day, the way that my perspective shifted because of that, he said, take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. When my work became easier, my work, okay, the yoke. If you don't know what a yoke is, like look up a yoke, but it's a thing like when they had the mules, right? The mules would work and they would put a yoke on it, so it goes on the shoulders or whatever. My yoke is easy. It's so freaking easy and simple. Guess what? When you're at ease, look, dis-ease, like disease, dis-ease means that you're not at ease. The body is not at ease. Now you got health problems. But isn't health a part of wealth? Right? Okay. But now you got ease. My yoke is easy. Things start the outsiders looking in. To them, it looked like you just moving with ease. And then guess what? Ooh-wee. You talking about the hate that comes because it looked like you just walking on air. They have no clue how hard you're working to not work hard. I don't think y'all heard me. They have no clue how hard you're working to not work hard. Because working hard is just like ingrained. I mean, we came from, you already know, right? We're getting that out of our DNA, right? Now we have a system. You work the system. Then he said, and my burden is light. What's light? Now you can see. Now you have understanding. You can see clearly. And sometimes you see so doggone clearly to where it is a burden. My burden is light. You shining. But you're the light that's shining in a dark place, and the darkness does not comprehend it. The darkness don't understand. They don't understand how so many things are happening for you because you stop doing the hard work and you're allowing the creator to do what he's already did. It's already done. The work is to do what? Clear out all the trash, all the garbage, all the thoughts, concepts, and opinions or whatever, that we've been handed over time. Get rid of that and then just step into the ease, the flow of obedience. He said, ask and it shall be given you. Asking ye shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking it shall be open. Seek ye the kingdom first and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. This is what just happened. Why did he say that? Why did Yahshua say seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh first and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you? This would just be an addition. Because what? He did it back here with Solomon. I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. He don't change. I don't want him to change. Just like, please don't change. Change me. You know what I'm saying? Change. I'm the one that got to change. But you, please stay the same. Right? He had to. He said, he told Solomon. Again, the first chapter of Chronicles. It's about because you asked me for wisdom and knowledge, it's granted. And here's the addition. And I'll give you riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before you, neither will there be any like that after you. Come on, man. What we doing? So if there's anything to do, anything to ask for the wisdom and the knowledge. He said it'll be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. Ask for the wisdom and the knowledge. King Solomon, he said, I have to have the wisdom and the knowledge just to know what to do with all of these people. How to judge them in righteousness, not unrighteousness, not prejudice or prejudging a situation, right? But to judge in righteousness. Judgment just means a decision. Making a decision in righteousness, because once you make a decision, that's that word, when you got decision, incision, it's a cut. It's cutting away. So when you make a decision, you're cutting out all other options. What will be the decision that you make for yourself today? Knowing that today sets you up for tomorrow. But not only you, but if you have a family, your children, you know what I'm saying? Your children's children, those after you, right? The wealthy, they think about today, but they think about today because they know that has to do with a lot of tomorrow. And not only just tomorrow, these plans, the plans that they make, it's about 20, 40 years out. 21 years is one generation. 21 years is one generation. 42 years is two generations. And we can keep on going with that. So what's 4 generations? So we're talking about whatever it is that I decide today. This is going to be a perpetually for the next 4 generations, being that those 4 generations are, one generation is 21 years, another generation is another 21 years, another generation is another 21 years, and another generation after that is another 21 years. That's how you got to think. That's how wealthy people think. So what do? How are you going to set, and especially if you're saying, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family. Are you thinking 4 generations ahead? Where you look at what, like between 80, 84 and 90 something. What do you see from the decision that you made today? So with that, I'm over my time. You are invited to our hyper launch. I think I put the information. Yeah, the information is scrolling, down below. Make a decision to come over to the hyper launch to see what it is that we have over here with Extreme FX Global Academy, right? Because look, we're in this position. We have a decision and a choice that we can make today. This is an opportunity that you can seize, right? We have people that are over here. Look, one of our founders, Megan Lynch, during the last pandemic, okay, became $100,000 a month earner within 90 days. And now she's trying to figure out, okay, now what do I do with the money? Right? Okay, you can make it, but then what do you do with it? How do you set yourself up in your future generations? Right? This kind of money, $100,000 a month is over $1 million a year. But done the right way, and what? Making sure that you protect your wealth so it's not eaten up by taxes, right? Making sure that you put it in the proper shelters, okay? And then set things up, trust funds, things like that, to set up for your future generations. We're not thinking about just today, future generations. All right, I could buy all the stuff and all of that, but then what after that? What about 4 generations ahead, down? Not only to my children's children, which is my granddaughter, my grandchildren, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have some more because I have 7 kids. I could have at least 25 children in my home at the same time. I'm gonna need a bigger house. Shortly when they start, growing and going and getting married and having children and stuff like that, I need to have more than just some arms to hug, my grandchildren. I want to leave something, but not only just material things, but the wisdom and the knowledge, just like Solomon asked for. He asked for it, and he received that with an addition of the riches and the wealth and the honor, right? So you can make a decision today. You see the information that's scrolling down there below, right? Join us on the hyper launch that's like starting right now. Okay, it's starting right now. So what you want to do is go to Linktree. You're going to go to Linktree/coach.Hadassah, right? When you get there, you'll see Zoom. When you see Zoom, you go ahead and click on that link and then enter the password POWER in all caps. POWER in all caps, POWER. All right. So that's starting in a few minutes. You just start at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And we will see you over there. Look, this is an hour of power, but this would only be about 10, 15 minutes tops. All right. And then you make a decision for yourself and see if this is the opportunity for you. All right. Because that's what wealth is all about. Freedom, pursuit of happiness, pursuit of opportunities. All right. So you guys take care. I will see you a little bit later today at 6:30 for the 15-minute mind reset, where we'll kind of do a little, a recap, which will be a 15-minute version of this. All right. So see you on the other side of success right over in that hyper launch. You guys take care. Peace.